Good morning, everyone. Can you hear? So, do you have any queries on the previous examples? I mean, we worked on the best practices as well. And also, very important topic, row level security. So, both we discussed static row level security, dynamic. Anybody tried to do that? Anybody worked? Is that exercise completed? So, no queries, right? Static, dynamic row level security. Fine, then, no problem. Please try to complete it if you haven't done. And if you have any queries, please let me know. So as a part of phase two activity, so phase one, we already completed. The phase two, the last activity. We will work on some advanced concepts and also I will showcase you the very important functionalities here as a part of phase two. So you have the content, right? I hope you have the content as the phase two. Fine. This part, this phase one part, everyone completed or else still any pending or else something. This one also, phase one. This phase one, the chart which you are observing now, is this completed? And here also, if you have any queries on these visualizations charts, how this red color is coming, I don't know how I'm not sure how it is coming. Or else still any queries on this card visualizations, please let me know. Fine then. So this one also we don't have any queries. Good. See here, I'm just trying to take one new page, or otherwise, okay, instead of redesigning one more page, what I will do in the sense, I'll just try to duplicate it. Okay, this duplicate. And if we have the multiple charts, right, instead of deleting the charts individually, see here, like this, by selecting the control button and deleting the charts, we have an option to select all the cards as well as all the visualizations except this part. I mean, I want to maintain this as a layout and remaining all cards, we can select it, okay, without using manual selection like this. Using control button, without this, we can select it. How? Important option, see here. Click on the views tab. Here we have a selection criteria. Select it, select it. So the selected objects, it will be, you are observing, right? I have selected all the cards. So it is selected automatically. So from here also we can select the other visualization. So I want to delete the visualizations which has been selected. Manually, you can select it like this, manual process. See here, whatever I'm selecting, it is getting reflected on this. Or from here also we can get selected. See here. Okay. I just want to remove it. Okay. So from by observing the selection process, I can try to delete it, or else maybe I can hide it. Okay. I want to design one more layout. I can hide it. See this. Observing, right? Click on the views tab here. After the modeling, we have a use tab. And here we have an option name called selection. So here in this new page, I want to design some new analysis like phase 2 activities. So for that purpose, I just hide or we can delete it. Okay, if you don't want to visualize those phase 1, we can delete it or we can hide it. Maybe I just want to project both. Maybe as a kind of a button, I can showcase both the phase 1 analysis and phase 2. I can hide and do the some functional activities, or we can hide it in this way. Got it? So currently, I will just try to delete it. I will show you how in which scenarios we can try to use hide option. Hide and show button option is there. We can try to discuss that part also. As of now, I'm trying to delete these visuals except this template. Okay. Delete it, normal delete. Fine. See here, we already imported some tables, right? These are the tables we have already imported. And as a part of phase 2, we have to get to know, because it's a source system, right? SQL Server is our database. SQL Server is our database. Whenever, if you are trying to connect the new source system, it will ask you, do you want to import the table, or there is another option other than the import, direct query. Okay, very important topic on the interviews part. What is the difference between an import method and direct query? See here, I just want to bring some new tables. SQL Server, server details. Let me just add the server details. Database name is optional. If you have a multiple database and if you want to add, we can add one single database, but here the database name is optional. Suppose if you want to connect any source system, optional. See here, data connectivity mode. By default, it is an import method. So this time I will try to make use of direct query. Select the direct query. Practically, I will show you. Please observe what is the difference between import and direct query. I will extract some other tables from this AdventureWorks, another database. But we are not going to prepare any report, okay? But just to showcase difference between import and direct query, I'm extracting some other database part, some tables. Load it. Yes. So some tables we already imported, and it is showcasing a kind of a risk, potential risk. And these new tables we are fetching from another database with a direct query method. So if you're observing the data view, if you navigate to the data view, these are the new tables. Dim employee, dimension employee, dimension organization, product. Are you able to see the data just like this? Cities table. If I'm selecting this, do you able to see the data? These tables are directly connected, but you haven't copied the table into your application. Okay, direct query tables, you haven't copied the tables into your Power BI desktop application. Okay, so that it's a direct query approach. So whenever if there is an instant change from the backend database, it will be automatically reflect. Okay, those table information automatically will get reflected in your Power BI desktop because it's a direct query. Okay, if there is any changes in the database, In our Power BI desktop application, it is directly get reflected. The values or else the table information will get reflected in an automated way. But here, import method, if there is any changes in our backend database table setting, to get the new changes, you have to manually refresh here. Okay. You have to refresh it so that the new changes will be incorporated in your cities table. Okay, that is the main difference. In which scenario you are going to make use of direct query. If my database data size is on each and every table is very high, I can go with the direct query method. I don't want to import it. I can go with the direct query for my data size for that particular table is very high, like it lakhs of records, millions. Then in that scenario, I can go with the direct query concept. And even in the model, if you're observing the model view, click on this model, we can see the differentiation between the direct query and import method. 1 second, let me increase it. See here, these 5 tables I have directly selected and available in my Power BI application. You can see the difference at the top. There is a line, right, border with a blue color. Whenever if I'm trying to hover on this top of this, any one of the table, you can see the storage method is direct query. Direct query is the storage method. If I'm selecting here, you can see the storage method is import method. So you will showcase these differences. You can tell these differences. I mean, whenever you're getting a question on direct query and import method. Okay. Differences between the direct and import. In the modeling part, we can showcase the difference within borderline blue, which stands for direct query. So we haven't imported the table, copied the table into your application. We just selected from the database directly. Okay. Whenever there is any new changes in the database, automatically it will be get reflected on your application. Okay. You don't need to manually refresh or else automatic. I mean, in the Power BI services level also, no need to trigger. Okay. A scheduler. It's an automated refresh. Okay. Still, few more differences. Let me navigate to the transform data. These are the new tables, right? Suppose, see here, these new tables. Maybe I just want to perform the very basic data type verification, data type check. Select all the columns. How to detect it? Is there any option to select all the columns and detect the data type? Is there any option is there? If you're observing the remaining tables, we have a detect data type, change data type detection is there. I want to add change data type detection transformation on this table, dimension customer. Is there any tab or else something which will be supported, or else manually I have to change it individual columns? Simple. Select all the columns, click on the transform tab. Here we have a transformation. See here, this is a direct query table, right? Dimension category. If I'm using detect data type, it shows a notification here. The steps results in the query is not supported in the direct query mode storage method. Meaning here, whatever the data types that has been allocated in the backend database, we have to make use of those data types only. Suppose if we are willing to change any one of the database, it will not get load. Okay, the table, it will not get load into your Power BI desktop application. Even it is asking, do you want to switch this table, all tables to be imported? That means all other tables which you have used as a direct query to the import method. After that, we can perform the changes on this table, any one of the table which have been imported as a direct query. It is asking. So whenever if you are using a direct query method, we have to follow the same criteria. Like a data type change will not accept. Maybe if I want to generate some new columns, new column, add column, it will not accept. So these activities you have to perform in the backend database. Okay, understood? Maybe if you want to delete some column, see here, and select all the columns, use the detect data type. It's not agree. Okay, it's asking, it's giving a notification. Got it? Like that, maybe if you are trying to close and apply, see here. This is an error. You are observing the error, right? I'm showcasing the real-time stats and real-time how we are going to project the errors and all. I hope you are observing the error. I done some changes on the dimension category. That is the category customer table, like changing data type, and I have removed some column. So it's throwing an error because before doing it, before loading into the Power BI desktop, you have to import the table as an, I mean, by using the import stats, not by using a direct query concept. If you're using a direct query, you have to perform those changes in the backend database. It will not allow to perform the changes in the Power Query editor. Agree? You following, right? Any questions? Do you have any questions here? This is important. You have to tell in the differences part in the interviews, like differences between import method and a direct query. Clear? Let me go back to the transform data and remove those two steps which I have performed. These two steps, okay? Given this one. So fine. Can I import it? So maybe by mistakenly I have used direct query. I have loaded into the Power BI desktop application. Can I change it from the direct query to the import method? Yes, we can change it. See here, the same table in the modeling part, select it, select it. Here we have a properties. So here we have a properties, we can change it from direct query to import method. So as of now, the storage method is direct query. I want to change it. Okay, I want to change from direct query to the import method. So just try to change it. That's it. Now you will get a question. Can I change from import to the direct query? No. Once you loaded this table into the Power BI desktop, we don't have an option to change from import method to the some other configuration. So see here, import method only. We cannot change it to some other storage method. Once you imported and loaded the table into your Power BI desktop application, you cannot change to some other storage modes. But direct query method is have a functionality. Once you have loaded, that means you have available, the new data set is available. With direct query, we can change the direct query method to the import method. Here, here. Okay, as of now I have imported, so I cannot change it back, roll back to this direct query. Okay, clear to everyone, or else any queries, concerns, please let me know. Is it clear? Responses, please. But and one more. So see here. 1 second. One more differences. Let me showcase to you. I'll just try to disable the data load of these tables. 1 second. I'm just trying to disabling the data source for these tables. Only if you are extracting the data as an, I mean, as a direct query, what are the new changes? So let me showcase you. So currently we have an imported tables as well as direct query tables. So that's why you are observing in the Power BI desktop all the views. all the views on the left hand side, report view, data view, and model view. Suppose if I'm working on only direct query tables, so how it looks like. Let me disable the changes. This one also. Dimension customer category also have imported. So these are the tables available: date, employee, organization, and product. Let's try to close and apply. Or else still it is there. 1 second. One second. Because I have created dimension date table, right? So that's why. So can you see on the left hand side, is there any change? Left hand side. Did you find any changes? Left hand side view, views part. Did you observe some changes? So these tables are direct query, date, employee, organization, product, direct query. Okay. Whenever, if all the tables are in a direct query, you cannot observe the data view. There is no data view now. Only two views are there. One is report view or model view. Suppose you will get a question. I want to add a new column on the table. Will that accept direct query? No. That's what I said, right? If you want to perform some changes on the table level, it will not accept if you are doing direct query method. Or if you are trying to perform the measure activity, it will accept. So we can perform the measures. We can do the measures, calculated measures we can perform. If you are trying to perform any new column generation, it will not accept. We don't have any new column. I mean, to generate or else to take it as a reference. So where we are going to do that? If I want to add a new column, which level we can perform it? Now I have a question. Can I do the new column activity because I'm seeing the data in the query editor? Can I derive a new column, add column in the query editor? Yes, no. It's an interview question. Please remember, if I'm using a direct query and I want to add a new column in the query editor, can we perform it? New column. That is nothing but an add column only, right? Add column. Just now I showcased to you. It will not accept. In the query editor, if you select this table, maybe dimension date, if you want to add some new column, maybe I'll just try to add a new column. It will not allow it. Okay, it's not going to accept. See here. Maybe I'll just try to add month number. Month number. And try to select all and change the data type. It's not allowed. Okay, these things we will do, right? It's not allowed if you're using a direct query mechanism. Please remember, it's very, very important. If you're fetching all the tables with the direct query method, you can see on the left-hand side, report view, model view, data view will be get disabled. Why? Because you haven't imported the tables into your Power BI desktop application. You are directly, whenever if there is any changes on the backend database, it will be get reflected instantly on your application. Okay, that's why. Important concept. So that's why I just given some more information on this. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. So as I said, if you have a huge data, huge information, millions of record, and it is going to be a burden on your application, my suggestion is you can go with the direct query method. Okay, but we have to perform this new column activity and deriving the right data types activity in the backend database if you're connecting to a database system. Okay, most of the time, most of any projects, we will try to import the tables if it is a database or something. Okay, new, I mean, file source system. Okay, we can try to import it into your application and we can design, and also we will do the data model by adding the new column and deriving some new data types and the query editor level. So the suggestion is, if you are playing with huge data, we can navigate and we can use it with the direct query approach. but we have to be more cautious to do the changes, not in the Power BI application, in the backend application, databases part. Okay. And if you are working with limited or else some, it's not an incremental or else something, we can go with import method. Okay. Normally, most of the projects will go with an import method only, though we have a huge information, because some of the functionalities will not get supported on direct query approach. So some limitation is there. Got it? If you're using a direct query, there are some limitations in our application in Power BI desktop itself. Understood? What are the limitations means? I cannot able to calculate any new columns. I cannot perform any new changes on this table part. New changes means I don't want to add it any data type change or else new column design, adding some merge or else a concatenation approach. It is not possible. So these are the limitations. Advantages are there, disadvantages also available. Advantage, if I'm using a direct query, it's an automatic refresh. You don't need to perform any manual refresh here. Once you've imported the table, you don't need to perform any refresh activity here if you're using a direct query. It's an automated, right? Any questions? Yes. Raise your hand, please, if you have any questions on this topic, import method and direct query method. I've explained you in which scenarios we can make use of an input method. As I said, most of the projects will go with an import method because all the functionalities are going to work on import method only. Okay, every functionality they have designed this product in this way. Direct query, some functionalities will not work, like DAX function, few of the DAX functions will not get supported. And also new columns I cannot able to derive on the top of this data set once the table will be get available. Okay. And as my observation, only the advantage is automatic refresh. So if you're using a direct query method, automatically whatever the changes in the backend, it will be get changed in your application too. Okay. Any questions up to this part? Are we good to go then? Any questions? Please let me know. Please. Yes, tell me.
So I wanted to ask you, like, when you say the changes in the backend, like, where are we going to do the changes in the direct query?
Changes, as I said, right? This is my database, right? Here we are going to add some new columns, data type check and all. Here, backend is this part. Here, these are the tables,
Okay.
right? You have to get connected and do some new columns, means new columns has to get added in the backend database part by writing the statement, alter the table and all. And once
Okay,
you've done
got
the changes, automatically the changes will be get reflected on your application because we don't have any data view or else in the query editor also it is not accepting. Okay.
um, one more thing, like, if
Tell
there
me.
is more than 30 columns, like, and we don't require that, then it
You cannot
is
remove it. Yes, we have to remove in the query editor. We have to select the required columns. Okay, we have to create a view and then we have to load it, that particular view. Okay, 30 columns or else 50 columns, 100 columns are also. But you are not going to use all 100 columns means we have to write this statement, what are the required fields in the backend and create a view on the top of it. Like that it will works.
okay. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Another important, so see here, I have prepared one code, okay, related to date table, and also has showcased to you how to create a date table by using the DAX functions. Correct? We discussed it. We discussed, right? Let me delete it. These tables. Yes or no? We discussed how to create a date table by using calculated table Okay, by using the functions to DAX functions. Which function is getting supported to create a date table? Can someone please help me? By using a DAX, which function name make use of to derive a date table? Date. That means a calendar. That's what we discussed, I think, right? Both calendar and one more function is calendar auto, correct? Calendar auto. So here, instead of deriving a date table by using DAX, we can derive the date table from the query editor as well. Okay, so which one is the better approach? Next question you'll get instantly. What is the best approach? Either by using the query editor, you said, or by using the DAX function. So if I can derive a date table here, is that going to available in the query editor? See here, quickly I will create a very quick date table, new table. If I create a date table here, calendar is fine, calendar auto, date table here. Is this table information is going to available in the query editor? Can someone please help me quickly? No. So this is from the front end application, the Power BI desktop, you are defining the date table by using the DAX object, new table. Suppose if you are navigating to the transform data that is in the query editor, date underscore table, it is not available because we haven't imported any new source system. You have taken the reference from the existing field and we have derived it, but we haven't imported. My suggestion is if you are getting a chance or else if you are getting a requirement to create a new date table, if it is not available, you can make use of in the query editor. In the query editor level, we can derive it in new date table, not by using DAX object, that is calculated table, bridge table. Okay, in which way it will be get helpful. So it will, if you are trying to derive a date table from the DAX, we have to refresh always. Whenever there is some changes on the data level, it will be get refreshed so that the date table also will be get refreshed. Suppose if you create a date table from the query editor, it is one time refresh only because you have imported or else you have created the table from the query editor. It's no need to refresh always. Like whenever there is some change in my data, you no need to perform separately the date table as a refresh option. Refresh means the data refreshes. Okay, that's the main criteria to avoid this date table by using the DAX function. Okay, so how to create here? So one option is very simple trick I will showcase to you to create a date table. Select this, select this. We have taken the reference from the order date. Duplicate this table, duplicate it. Simple process. Rename it, rename date. We have an order date, right? There is a field. Select this column, remove other columns. So this is one approach. So automatically, whenever there is some changes from the backend tables, the same changes will get reflected on your order date also. Okay, if there is some new records are getting added, it will be get added on your order date as well. So from here, we can try to close and apply, and we can load it. We know this process, right? You know this process, correct? We are trying to load it. So this is a new table for me, a date from the query editor. This is the table. And this one is the manually I have created by using DAX function. So I'm just trying to remove this one, not required. Not required. So the date table has been created. Now on the top of it, see here, I want to split it. We know how to split it, right? Like a year, month, day, and so on. Yes or no? Yes, you know, right? So like a year function, we are going to use it. Month means month function. Month name, if you want to derive in the sense, format function, we are going to use it. So we know how to use it, how to generate the new columns. By using calculated column, we can derive it. Here also, my suggestion is instead of deriving the new columns, date related, right? These are all date related. Instead of deriving the new columns from the DAX part by using the calculated column, which is going to impact the performance as well, My suggestion is we can try to derive the new columns in the query editor here. It's a very simple button click only. Select your date table, select your order date. How to do that? From the add column. How to do that? Please respond in the chat. Don't use any custom column. Here we already discussed. Okay. By default, we have a tab date. So here, from here, I'm expecting the year as a separate. Select year as a separate. So it will be get derived. Or as maybe I'm expecting the month name from this order date. Select this date. Month name I'm expecting. Select it. Understood? We already discussed this part. No need to use any functions. Date functions will not work out. Here, DAX functions will not work out in the query editor. Select it. It's a button click activity. Name of the day. I'm expecting the name of this particular day. So in this way, we can try to derive date table from the query editor. Okay. My suggestion is instead of deriving the date table exclusively, if you want to derive a date table, do it in the query editor. Try to derive it from the query editor, not from the Power BI desktop by using the DAX object calculator table. Okay. So this is one approach. Okay. First approach, simplest one to derive a date table. First approach. Okay. Method one. Another method. Once, as I said, right, once we will get some expertise, we can derive our own date tables too. Okay, by writing the M functions, we can derive our own date table. So how? See here, this is not that much important. We can have an alternative methods too, but I just want to showcase to you how I am going to derive a date table by writing the M functions. See here, new source. I'm not importing by using any connectivities or else any new directions. So I'm just trying to use building my own query, date table query. Select it, blank query. Go to the advanced query editor. So I'm not going to write it here, very small formula bar. See this small formula bar. I'll just try to navigate to the advanced query editor. Select it. So here I'm going to write the statement. So I'm expecting the data from 2013, whatever the information that I have from the order date, I'm going to expect from 2013 to current year. Okay, up to current date. That means today's date. Okay, from today's date, from 2013, I want to get started my information, the date information till date. So here I'm going to write the M functions. Which language we are going to write it here? In query editor part. Which language we are going to write? M language only. Let is the keyword. Let is the keyword. Good. Get started. And source is the name of it. Source is equal to. So here, from here onwards, we can get started. Okay. Remove it. So manually, I'm trying to create a date table by using M functions from 2013. So it will be get started from 2013 to till date. So first, I want to get generated as a list. Okay. I'm not asking you to remember the functions which currently I'm going to use. Asking you to observe it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to share you this code and also one handy code is there to derive a date table. Just try to observe that one. Okay. List dot. So I'm trying to generate a list first. Okay. List dot dates. If you're observing, start as a date. Start as a date. From which date onwards you're expecting? I'm expecting the date table will be get started from 2013. Inside, try to call with the reference, has transfer reference, hash date table. So start of date. So I'm expecting from 2013, month, day. 1 comma 1 is 2013 is an year, 1 is the month, day. Okay, I'm just trying to project the static number 2013 onward. My data will be get started, the date table data, comma, duration. So we are expecting the time duration also, right? Date and time duration. Duration. So we have a duration dot dates function. Okay, list. So from this list, first parameter I have defined with from 2013 to till date. List dot duration. From this duration dot dates, we're expecting the split as well. Okay, it will be get splitted like year, quarter, day level analysis. So I'm just trying to make use of duration dot date. Okay. So expecting the date and time format, date and time format to be get supported. One second. Oh, here. No problem. Date. Duration dot date dot dates. Okay, days wise. And here, date and time dot date is a function. Date time, we are expecting the date time as a by default. Whenever you're trying to create a date table, you will get the date and time analysis. Date as well as time data type 2. Automatically, it will be get selected. So that's why I'm just using the date and time format dot date. So here, this date time. Date time dot fix a local time. That means until current date onwards, I mean up to current date. That means today is 11th, 10, 2013. I'm expecting the data with the date and time format. So try to add it. Fix a local time. Close it. I mean, maybe it is a little bit tough to understand, but I will explain it, re-explain it, no problem. Some additional brackets also. I'm just cross verifying. If small mistake, it will not allow. You'll get an error here. As of now, currently no syntax error. But if you do small bracket miss, you'll get a complete, I mean, mess up. Hash, I mean, hash stands for reference. Okay. What is this hash meaning is? Hash stands for reference, taking the reference of current, which you have projected here. Reference 2013. I'm expecting the data from here, comma, and the duration also we have to mention. So like hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. Duration, hours, minutes, seconds, comma, milliseconds. Okay. Maybe I'm not going to use the source. I'll just try to change it to the date, smaller case, date underscore D. Okay, the name of it. Okay. Here also we can change it automatically. We have to change whatever the in is the last written statement, change it to date underscore D. Okay. Select it. Let's see whether it is going to derive the list or not. So see here, list has been derived. I will explain it one more time. A list of tables from 2013 to current date has been derived. So we have to convert this list to a table. So we discussed it already, how to convert a list of information to a table. Is there any option? Or else manually we have to perform. How to derive a list to a table conversion? Is there any option here? Button click option is there? Did you find any button click transformation to convert from the list to the table? Here itself, right? In the transform tab, this is my list. We can convert to a table, left hand side corner. So I don't want to use any delimiters, just try to convert it. So this is my date table. Change the data type from ABC1 to 3 to the date. So now here onwards, it will be get supported to derive the new columns, convert result in the form of a date, okay, instead of a column one. So with the help of blank query, I can try to derive my own date table too. So if you're observing, we can see the stats from 2013 to 2023. Let's see here. Add column. Yeah. See this. You're observing, right? From 2013 to 23 current date, the data is available. I mean, the date table has been derived. So this is another approach to derive a date table. Manually, we can create the statements From this blank query, we can take the blank query. From the advanced query, I have written the statement. Let me navigate back there and then explain. See here, important. Only focus on this line, okay? Not any other. Focus only on this line. First, I'm trying to derive the list of dates. So list.date function is there. So please try to remember in the interview spot. Do you worked on any functions on the, in the M functions? You can tell that list.dates. And also we discussed many functions while working on the best practices. List.dates. So I want the format in the form of 2013, comma, year, month, and date. So I'm using the date reference 2013 to till date. So duration dot date is nothing but current date I'm expecting until that fixed local time. That means the meaning of fixed local time is local now. Now function is the now in the sense current date. Okay, which in the same format as per my global settings. Okay, and here minus, this is the minus option, minus. We are expecting the duration as well. So we want to derive the duration with hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. So we're just trying to subtract, add it to this date table. So from the date table, date column, maybe if you want to add hours, seconds, milliseconds, we can derive it by converting date data type to the date and time data type. It's very simple. See here. As of now, this is the date data type, right? I'm interested by using the same date column. I'm interested with the date and time. I can derive it. I can get it. Hours, minutes, and milliseconds too. So I want to split these columns, means I can try to extract the time and all. See here. Add column, time. Maybe I'm interested with the hours. I can derive it. Hours. And I'm interested with the milliseconds, I can derive it, or else minutes. Okay. So with the help of this manually created functionality, we can derive the date table too. So this is the second approach. Okay. Second approach of deriving a date table. Which one is comfortable to you? Is that a method one or else a method two? You can tell. Method one is simple. So I will follow personally. I will not use this method. Okay, second method. Frankly, I'm saying, okay, I will not use this method. As a developer, we know the hard. What I will do in this is I have prepared a code here. Okay, if you want to derive any date table, 1 second, it is on my desktop only. Here, sorry, here. I have prepared a date table query. So this is the complete query. I will share you this query with you also. Okay. So what I will do in the sense, if I want to derive some new date tables, okay, date table only for date table, not for any other table. I can copy this code. We know how to copy paste. So from here, new source, blank query only because I'm trying to copy and paste it as a new query, right? Go to the advanced query editor, just to remove it, paste it here. Okay, complete date table has been available. Even you don't need to create any new columns on the top. Okay, every insert statement for the year, add column is there. If you're observing date, month number, calendar month, everything is there. So the meaning here, it will be get started from taking the reference, a parameter, date from the starting date, and as well as end date, and the financial year. Okay, the starting parameter, we have to provide some number to the table. Okay, see this. Once you can click done, as I said, the parameters will be get created. So enter the parameter, that is the start parameter, that starting date, end date, and financial year starting month. So here we have to supply from which date onwards you are expecting the data. First month, first 2030, and end current date. Okay, current year end. Okay, 12th month, 31st, 2023. And start of month, I'm expecting, financial quarter should be on January, and invoke it. That's it. This is my third approach. So automatically, with all the columns, date, year, all the columns, whatever it is required for our date table creation, it's get available. Okay. And from 2013 to current year, end, we can define. Maybe I don't want to define from the current year, means we can change it here. We can change back, okay, enter the new parameters and change back to this, I mean, new table too. Okay. So this table, I can try to get it loaded to my Power BI desktop. Just try to do something like date underscore method two. Now you can tell me which method is good for you. I will share you this code, okay? This code also I will share it with you. It's a handy code. Method one, two, three. Good. Good. But method two, in which scenarios it will be helpful? To get a job, okay? Why means you can remember some M functions. Okay, that's the agenda, right? In this method too, you know some functions listed or dates is there and that fixed time. Okay, fixed local time is another function, fixed local now. So up to the current date, if you want to get the current date, I mean today's date, you have to use date time dot fixed local. Okay. So for interview prospect, it is helpful. Understood? Any questions up to this part? Any questions, please raise your hand. Don't hesitate. Maybe if you fail to understand something, please let me know from the first method to the third method. Good. Others, please respond. If you are not understand any one of it, please let me know. Third method is anyway, I'm going to share you the code. Okay, this code. So I will use it regularly in any project. If there is no date table means I can use it. So I no need to derive any new steps here. See here on the right hand side corner, we have only the source information. Everything I have defined, right? By using a functions. So there is no new data transformation step. So fine. So what I will do in this is because I have manually created this table, I'm going to use this one. Okay. I will just try to disable the data load. I don't want to load it. Disable. I will disable this one also. This one too. Okay. This is manually created. Let me remove the steps. I just want to showcase a few more things. Okay. Date. Few more. So once we will get a good expertise, right, on writing the M functions, my suggestion is to get remember, instead of using this add column and date approach, my suggestion is once, okay, for learning curve, instead of using this a button click and try to derive some new columns, my suggestion is the same activity, okay, the new column, we can try to derive it by using custom column tool. Okay, maybe I'm interested with the start of week. Start of week. I want to derive it by taking the reference of the date. We can do this. We can do that activity from here. Start of week is there without writing the M functions. I mean, just a button click activity. But I want to write a M function. So in that kind of a scenario, custom column, we can choose it. Give the name of it like start of week. Okay, for learning curve, okay, for if you are upgrade ourselves on the M queries. Okay, date dot. So automatically IntelliSense is providing which one you are expecting. I'm expecting the start of week, right? Start of week. See here. So from here you can choose it, right? There is a start of date, is the start of month. I'm expecting the start of week. So which function we are going to use it? You're observing the function, right? Date dot start of week. It's giving an IntelliSense link. So we can try to select the function name also. So date dot start of week, manually I have written. Open the bracket, try to close date. So we have derived the date. Select it. Comma. Maybe I'm just trying to represent it. Start of week with 1. Close the bracket. Enter. So this is my start of week for this. Complete. Okay. For 1/1/2013, this is the start of week. 31st, 12th month, 2012. Convert this as a data type. This is a data type. Okay. Like that. Maybe I'm interested with the day of week, which day it is. Select your date. We can do that from here with the button click activity. And to get to know the functionality part, M functions, select the custom column, expecting the day of week, right? Day of week. Date dot, date dot, direct functions. Here, date of week name. Okay, we can choose it. We're expecting the name. Okay, which name? Like a Thursday, something like that. Okay, select it. If we are expecting the number, we have the function also there. See this. Week function is also available. See here. Day. See this. Date dot day of week, which is going to give the number. Date dot day of week name, which is going to give the textual name. Okay, select it. Use the date column only. Date column is our reference here. Date column from this date table. Close the bracket, validate it. So this is what is expected. Everyone following, right? Do you have any queries here? Please let me know. This is the day of week. Like that, month name or else a month number also we can derive it. New column, date dot month. So automatically IntelliSense is providing which one you're expecting. You're expecting the month number or else a month name. So I'm expecting the month name here in this scenario. So open it, close the bracket. So date column is our reference, close the bracket. Give the name as month name. Select it. This is the month name. Change the data type to text. Now you can tell me for the year, I want to get it extracted from this date. So I'm not using this automated way. Okay, button selections, custom column. You can tell me date dot, which one we are going to use it. Is that a day of year or as end of year or as a leaf year or as week of year, start of year? Which function we are going to use it to get it extracted the only year is giving the IntelliSense, right? You are observing the IntelliSense. It's giving some suggestions for us. So which one you are going to use it in this scenario? I want to extract only year. It's simple, right? Simple language only. Date.year. The function also simple language. Select it and try to pass the parameter. So date. Date is our parameter. Select it, close the bracket. That's it. Change the column header here. Data type is not the text, it's a number. Good. So in this way, manually, okay, I mean, to get an expertise on the M functions too, we can, I mean, even we know the formula and functions, just try to use it, custom column, which will be helpful to you on the interview goals, okay, interview prospect, to get remember some functions at the time, okay. But these approaches are once you join it somewhere, either my suggestion is you can go with the method 3 only. Everything. We don't have any steps here. All the steps will be get created in the query editor part, okay, by passing your parameters and functions. And here, if you're observing the method one, we have some steps here, which is going to impact the performance of your report also. So my suggestion is go with the method 3. I mean, once you join in somewhere in the organization. Okay, closing this. Any queries up to this part? This code, right? I will share it with you. This date table code, which is a handy. Any queries, concerns, please let me know. Please let me know. Any queries? No queries? Responses, please respond. So this date table underscore M3, right? I have derived it from the query editor. I have to give the relationship. So let's try to give it. Manage relationship, new date underscore M3, and your sales order table, order date, date to date. Okay, order date. One to many relationship. The cardinality is one to many. And the cost filter direction by default it is a single. I'm using the same process. Close. Okay. And here also, because we have just disabled the connectivity, right? The relationship has been missed. Just try to provide the relationship between cities table with the sales customer table. City and sales customer table. So city ID is there, delivery city ID. Okay, fine. I mean, I just disable it. Okay, all the things has been disabled, values and all, because we just disable the data load. That's what the potential risk, right? And then load it back, enabled it into the query editor. I mean, that activity we have performed. So that's why my all visualizations has been moved. Fix it. We have to fix. Fine then. That is a part. So D and I mean date underscore M3, which has been derived, that one also added from the query editor, not by using a DAX option, DAX calculated table option. Next part is we will try to work on creating the parameters on the Power BI desktop, some advanced activity. And also I will showcase you some visualization, how it looks like and all. Okay. Some kind of a technically, okay, what type of visual, how it looks like, whether it is a right choice to go with the visualization or not. That kind of an approach we are going to define in the Power BI desktop level. That is in the tomorrow's session. So if you have any queries, I'm asking again. If you have any queries, please let me know. Up to these concepts are clear, or else do you want me to repeat any one of the concept as we discussed previously? So dimension table, is that going to maintain primary key or foreign key? Responses please in the chat box. Dimension table is going to maintain primary key or foreign key. Which key the dimension table is going to maintain? Interview question. Okay. Yes, I think it's good to ask the interview questions too. Responses. Which key dimension table is going to maintain? Dash. What happened? You don't know or else what? Like a primary key, I'm giving the options to primary key, foreign key, something. Which key? Good. I don't know about others. Please respond. Okay, if you're right or wrong, whether it is a right or wrong, please respond it so that I will get to know. Okay. So fact table. How can we identify a fact table? So I have showcased you some important tricks to identify the fact table. How can we identify a fact table or the bunch of tables? So these many bunch of tables. I want to identify a fact table. So what are the trick to identify a fact table? Anybody? Tricks to identify. So then which one is the fact table then? We already discussed. Okay. First one is which one, what are the things that we need to cross verify? Okay. Important metrics. Metrics. Second one is less number of fact table identification. Okay. Less number of columns, more number of records. Tricks to identify a fact table, not a dimension. Okay. More number of records, that means rows. More number of rows are records. Okay. And both relationship wise not having any primary key. That means foreign key only. Bracket. Okay. Should maintain. Okay. So by using these four parameters, by observing these parameters, we can identify either it is a fact table or dimension table. Okay. Now you can tell me from here, from this, which one is the fact, which one is the dimension. Dimension anyway, I'm not asking the dimension. See this? These are all my relationships. Multiple. Okay, it's a clumsy, right? So here I need to identify the fact table. See here, cities table. Let me navigate instead of a modeling, right? You'll be get confused. First one, city table. Did you find any important metric here in this table? Is there any important metrics? Is there any important metric measure like a sum, aggregation, all the things? No, I'm seeing only the dimension related, like a categories, right? ID columns. It's not a fact. And also, one condition is failed. Another one is cities table is having 37,000 record. Less only compared to other tables. Okay. So it's failed some conditions, some criteria. So I'm just ignoring the city table. Customer category. In any case, I am not going to consider this as a fact table. Do you consider? No. Sales order also not a fact table. You can tell. You are going to answer it. Is this a fact table now? Customer category. No, right. ID column is their name. That is a category. No, don't consider. Date table. Anyway, we are not going to consider it as a fact table. Date is a confirmed dimension table. It's a confirmed where we can try to provide the relationship with the date fields. We cannot measure sum as an aggregated year function. So date, we can ignore it. It's not a fact table. Sales customer, 663 records, less number of records compared to the cities table. Okay, first condition is failed. And I'm not seeing any important metrics here. Important metric. I'm not seeing here. Any important metric means like a quantity, unit price, or as a capacity. These are the important metrics. Sales amount. No. Next table is sales order line. Now you can tell me. Order ID, order line, package ID, quantity, unit price, picked quantity, and picking completed when something is there. So here I have identified some important metrics, quantity and unit price, one condition satisfied. And it is more records compared to other tables, more records compared with other tables too. So conditions has been satisfied as per the backend, which I have been written. Next table, sales order. Did you find any important metric, number here? Any important number? And compared to the previous table, it is less number of records, 73,595. Okay, I'm not seeing any important metric here. Like that, sales proficiency. Do you consider the state proficiency is in fact table? No. And warehouse? No. 227 records. I have some important metrics like this tax rate, unit price, but it is showcasing less number of records, right? If condition has been failed. More number of rows, and also the less number of columns, less number of columns. So it is satisfying. The criteria sales order line is satisfying. Understood? Everyone? Like that, we have to identify on our own. Nobody will teach us, or nobody will tell us this is the fact table you have to consider. Nobody will tell. We have to identify by analyzing each and every other table. We have to analyze it in real time also. Though it is taking time, we have to analyze it by coordinating with the team members or else by seeing the data, how it looks like. Understood everyone, or else any clarity missing or else something, please let me know. These are the steps. Important metrics, less number of columns, more number of records, rows. Relationship wise, no primary key. So here, very simple. In this table, sales order line, is this a primary key? Foreign key. This side, is this a primary? No, foreign key. So this is what? So sales order line is my fact table. And last question from which schema it is, which schema we are following for the sales statistical analysis. You can tell me and then I will close it. Which schema design? We discussed it. Good. But as a part of performance, which schema is better? Is that a snowflake or else a star schema? Performance wise, which schema is better? It's a complex, okay? It's a complex schema. Snowflake is complex because it has to read the data from the hierarchies of the table and subtables and parameters. If it is a direct star schema means directly connected to your fact only. So that's why I chosen both of the reports with a snowflake design because it's a complex as per the performance, I mean, all the criteria. So it has to read the subtables like a customer category and also cities table to the state province table, sub parameters and subtables has to read it to get load all the information. So the complex, okay, performance wise, it is going to impact, okay, I mean, snowflake schema, but star schema is the best approach because it is directly connected to your fact table. There is no hierarchies, no sub hierarchies of your dimensions. Okay, I hope everyone's okay. I mean, understood the concept. Still, any questions, clarities required, please let me know. And tomorrow, right, we will get started with the visualizations. As I said, right, uh, selecting the some visual, whether how it looks and feel, we will discuss. And also very important, some parameters we are going to create on the Power BI desktop level. Okay, we will prepare the phase 2 development. Okay, so as of now, the date table only get created. Okay, fine then. I'm stopping. If you have any queries, please raise it. I will give the link, okay? My Udemy link is there for PL300 practice test questions. Whenever the cost is lower in the Udemy part, you can take it. Got it? Fine then. If no questions, we'll connect tomorrow. Okay. Thanks for joining. Have a nice day. We'll connect tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you.